Hello, my name is Miguel from the MobileMechanic 757. Well, I did a job and I quit. I just not going to do the job. So, a customer called us for a diagnostic on their Honda last year. And the customer paid it online because we do everything prepaid except the labor itself, and that keeps down the confusion or us not getting paid or any kind of drama. It took our drama from 50% down to 2%. When we go to a customer, we always make sure that they sign, and these are the rules because in a shop, they're going to act a completely different way. When you show up, they're not going to take you serious or respect you. So we have 3 pages of rules, of policies, of what to expect from the customer and what to expect from us. And most all of our dramas just go away. Only one person decided they're not going to sign it, and we didn't do the job, but everybody else signs it. We give them a copy, and they know the boundaries and they know what should and should not be. So the customer did a diagnostic on her AC system. I went out there, I accessed the system, and she had somebody else to do the job before us, and they changed the compressor, but they did not change the receiver and dryer, which is hooked up to the condenser in front of the car. I also have the same exact car. It was a 2007 Honda Accord. I said, ma'am, did you change that receiver and dryer? She said, no, I wanted to save money. I said, ma'am, you cannot even make a warranty claim wherever you bought this from because you did not change the receiver and dryer. It is a complete must. At AutoZone, Advance, Rock Auto, whomever it is, the manufacturer where you got it from, they're going to tell you the exact same thing. And I would never tell you anything wrong because I want this to be a long-term job that you don't have to even think about it for years to come. She goes and tells me, well, that's not what she wants and that's not how it's going to be and all this other stuff. And I want you to go ahead and do an AC recharge and just recharge my AC system. I said, ma'am, I'm going to do that for you, but I have to put it in a vacuum because you don't have any Freon inside this car and you have a leak somewhere. So we found where the leak was. It was just a Schrader valve, but the system was empty and it had air in the system. It had to have air in the system. So anyway, to make a long story short, we went ahead and changed out the Schrader valve. We had them on our vehicle. It was like a 2-3 minute job, if that. She had no Freon in it, so we didn't have to do an evacuation. She said, well, I want you to go ahead and recharge it. And I said, ma'am, I'm not going to recharge the system until you put it into a vacuum. She says, well, I'm not going to do the vacuum. I just want you to do the Freon, and that's just what I want. And it is what it is, and I already have my Freon in here. I said, ma'am, I'm not going to do it because that's not the right way and procedure to do it. And she said, well, I saw people on Amazon, excuse me, not Amazon, but YouTube doing it. And I said, well, that's them, but the proper way of doing this, you have to put the vehicle into a vacuum to get all the moisture out. You have to, that's just the way it is. She said, well, you're going to do it anyway. Mind you, she's already signed the paper and the rules, and one of the rules is the $95 goes towards any repairs and is good for 30 days. That's one of the rules. Actually, number 5. And also, if any mobile mechanics want a copy of these rules for $10 donation, I will send it to you. And this is all the years of all the customers, of all the issues that we go through, and it puts the drama down to like 1 or 2% because some people just want to argue with you. But most people, when they sign this, and we even make you initial at each line, say you can never say, oh, I didn't know. And also if we have to go to court, which is very rare because they already know that they signed this and this is how we're going to conduct business, and no one's entitled to change or change the rules, or their rules don't apply. So this is why we did this, boundaries. So she already signed the paper. She said, you know what, let me think about it and we'll get back with you. So a month and a half later, She says, well, I want you to go ahead and do the service. I've already paid the $95. I said, absolutely not, ma'am. When we do any kind of work, we put notes to let us know what happened, if the customer called back, what we did and we didn't do. And we put very detailed notes for ourselves and also for the customer. And on her work order we gave her, customer did not want us to do the vacuum, and customer wanted to do shortcuts. And she signed it, and we gave it to her, and we got the copy she signed. And I said, ma'am, no, the whole entire thing is our $95 is good for 30 days. She said, I did not know that. I said, ma'am, we have a copy of what you signed. And also when you do the prepayment, you go online, it literally says you have to check mark one of the clauses when you do the 95 diagnostic, and it literally will tell you it's only good for 30 days. She says, well, I don't care about that. It doesn't apply to me. I said, yes, it does, ma'am. It applies to you. And she was just going on and on and on. I told her, ma'am, you know what? I'm not going to have any work with you. I don't really want to work with you. I quit. I don't want anything to do with you. You could take your vehicle, go somewhere else, have them to do what you want to do. And I guarantee you, if you bypass what I said, you will be crying because you just lost a compressor that you just had somebody put on, and you did not change the receiver and dryer. Now you have to. If you had done it with me, it would have been probably $120. The 95 would have went towards that when I was telling you to do it. She didn't want to do it that time. Then we get another call back. This is August. This has all happened in June. She calls us in July demanding her $95 goes towards whatever, but it was past the 30 days. It just was. In August, she's calling and crying on the phone, talking about, I should have listened to you. My AC's not working. Can you help me, please? I said, man, we can't help you. The only thing we can do is give you what needs to be done. And now you're going to have to buy a new compressor. You're going to have to get the whole entire kit. Get it from Rock Auto. It's going to be about $300, but it's going to be about $800 also, because she was saying her AC was going on, cutting on and off. It was getting hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, which told me that the expansion valve is pretty much gone out or going out. And she said, well, if I get the whole kit, does it come with it? And I said, everything comes with it, plus the O-rings, so we'll do the job right the first time. And it even came with the condenser. So it was part of the condenser, and that's why I told her to get it. And I told her to get a compressor with oil in it. And she said, she was sitting there crying, $800 is too much money and all this, da-da-da-da-da. I said, ma'am, just the expansion valve itself, I got to tear at your dash just to get to that. This is going to be like almost all day doing this job. And then I got to do the vacuum like I told you. And she started turning on me, talking about I'm ripping her off, I'm a piece of, and it's just cussing me out. And I said, ma'am, I don't want nothing to do with you. And I blocked her number and I hung up on her. The point of my story is, we're here to help you. And if you don't want to listen, I'm not going to do the job. I'm not going to do the shortcuts that you want us to do, because that's not how we operate. We want to do the job the first time. So with that being said, if the customer does not want the job that you've done correct, do not do the job. You're going to be liable for whatever it is. And also always have rules, which are boundaries, so the customer will understand, because a lot of times they're going to say something totally different at a shop, which is just, okay, how much it costs, very few questions. But when you're in front of them one-on-one, they seem to be the expert. Not all of them, but they're trying to be the expert. Every customer must sign this, and now they know that we have nothing to do with your diagnostic or wherever you got your information from. We're going to do our diagnostic, and it'll be on us. And we take the $95 and we apply it to the labor. And you should always listen to us. If not, it is what it is, and that's the reason why we have it. It's only good for 30 days. So if you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and also, we are people before profit. Thank you.